So you want to smell rich, like old money. These fragrances are all very sophisticated and very alluring, blended into perfection, and especially the last one, because that one has over 50 fragrance notes. So make sure to watch till the end. We start off the list with Dior Homme Parfum, and this is one of the best designers ever created in my opinion. This is a very sophisticated, leathery, woody iris fragrance, but the iris really shines. It's very powdery in a very lipsticky, sophisticated way. But it's also very woody, and the woodiness comes from a creamy sandalwood with like a very smooth oud combined with cedar. It has a little touch of rose, it has a little touch of mandarin, or orange, I mean, Italian orange. So the orange combined with the iris gives it a little bit of like zestiness to it, like a little bit of freshness, but it's mostly very powdery and woody. And the leather in here is very smooth. Like if you're not into leather fragrances, this is a very easy to the nose leather fragrance in my opinion. The leather is sort of prominent, but it's not overwhelming, it's not in your face. It's a very creamy, powdery, woody fragrance, and it smells very sophisticated. This smells like money. This smells like old money. This is a very beautifully well blended fragrance. I would say it is not for everyone, and I think even that it's unisex enough for women to wear because of the lipsticky vibe maybe, but I think it's very sexy on the man. This is perfect for professional settings, perfect for fall and winter. You can wear this on a date night. You also have like Dior Homme Intense. This is apparently discontinued. I thought you can still get this in Europe, but apparently they just discontinued it, like the whole line, the whole Dior Homme Parfum line. I'm not sure if that's completely true, but I've heard several people confirming it. If you cannot get this anymore, just get Dior Homme Intense. That's, I think, even slightly more mass appealing. It's about 90% the same DNA. Maybe Dior Homme Intense is even a little bit more sexy. I still need to get it in my collection. But if you can still get Dior Homme Parfum, I would say get it. But sample it first, or at least try Dior Homme Intense first in store. If you like that, you can definitely blind buy this while it's still available. Because if it's discontinued, the prices will go through the roof within a year probably. Then the bottles will be like $300 plus probably. But this is a masterpiece. It is a beast. This is performing over 16 hours on my skin, and I think this is a 2020 or 2021 batch. I've heard that the previous versions below, like under 2020s, like 2015, 16 batches, like older batches, are even stronger, like 24 plus hours. So it's a beast mode fragrance, very sexy, very sophisticated, very alluring, and you will smell like a true gentleman. So sample this at least, check this one out, the Homme Parfum. Next up we have Parfums de Marly Carlisle, which is one of my favorites from the house, and this is masterfully well blended. This is to describe it easily, a green apple, vanilla, patchouli fragrance. But it smells very sophisticated. It's not like too fruity, it's not too much vanilla, it's not too much patchouli. It is a very smooth and gentleman-like blend. This is very masculine in my opinion. It has some woody nuances. It has like the patchouli gives like a dark, mysterious sweetness to it. Like the vanilla and tonka bean combination combined with the apple. Beautifully well blended. It's a very sexy and sophisticated blend in my opinion. It also is also spicy with nutmeg and saffron, and of course vanilla and tonka bean are also like sweet spicy. So it has some fresh spiciness to it. It has some warm spiciness to it. And the osmanthus comes off like a little bit apricot-like, a little bit milky, woody. So it has a nice nuance of that as well. And the patchouli really shines. So the patchouli, vanilla, and the apple, they shine the most. And I would say this is not a safe blind buy at all. I wouldn't recommend this to everyone. But if you are really into more complex fragrances, more like niche, like really niche fragrances, you would have to sample this at least. This is perfect for fall, winter, early spring. You can wear this to the office, in my opinion. You can wear this on date nights. You can wear this in casual settings. You can wear this going out clubbing, whatever you want to do. It's actually a massive compliment getter because it doesn't smell that mass appealing, but still it has some sort of mass appealingness to it because it has the sweet nuances with the vanilla and the apple. But it's very sophisticated, it's very sexy, it is really masculine in my opinion. I would say at least get your nose on this, at least sample this. If you want to go on the safer side, go for Parfums de Marly Layton or Sadly or Percival. Those are very like easy to the nose, very mass appealing. But if you want a more like a niche fragrance, this is in the category Montserrat Red Tobacco, but way better. That smells a bit synthetic. This is like the sort of better version of that. Like it smells like, let's say 60-70% the same, but this DNA is way more natural. It smells a lot better. And this one came out on the market first. I think this came out in 2015, if I'm correct. If I'm not correct, I will edit it here in screen, but I think I'm correct. And also Triumph of Bacchus is in the same DNA. So that's also a masterpiece. But Parfums de Marly Carlisle, in my opinion, it needs more love. So check this one out, at least sample this. Next up we have Roja Parfums, Enigma pour Homme, the Parfum version. And this smells like Coca-Cola with vanilla and cognac, to describe it very easily. It gives that vibes, but in a very sophisticated way. This is very like a gentleman-like, beautifully well blended fragrance. This smells like old money for real. So it is like slightly sweet, it's slightly boozy, it is heavy on the vanilla, it has benzoin, which makes it also very sexy, it has a nice hint of tobacco, it is very warm spicy at the same time, it has black pepper, but it also has neroli and jasmine to give it a little bit of sweet white floral nuances, but it's more in the background. It also has a hint of patchouli, more in the background, more as a support note. It's more heavy on the vanilla and the benzoin and the tobacco and the cognac. The booziness is not straight up in your face booziness, but it's really well blended. It also has like a slight hint of bergamot with a little bit of ginger. So it's a bit zesty, it's a bit fresh, just a little bit, but it's mostly very warm, spicy and sweet. And the cognac that shines. It's beautifully well blended with the tobacco. Nothing is too prominent in your face. I would say it's very smooth blended. It's also a very expensive fragrance. I would say not a safe blind buy at all. Even if it sounds amazing to your nose, try to sample it first. And I would also really recommend the cologne version of this one. That's an eau de parfum. This is a 50 ml, and you also have the cologne version. I actually have it on the table right there. That is like almost, I think, 150 euros cheaper, sort of. And that's 100 ml, and it smells about 90% similar. This smells more refined. It has better performance. It's stronger. This is an extrait de parfum concentration. But you can also check out the other one. And still not a safe blind buy, but you have to at least sample at least both of these actually. If you sample that one and you love that one, try this as well. Get your nose on it and thank me later, because in my opinion, it's a must-have fragrance. It's not suited for like any occasion, more for like special occasions, but you can wear this actually in formal occasions, professional settings. This is perfect for fall, winter, early spring, perfect for a date night. You can wear this to the office. You don't have to spray too much because the performance is amazing, and you will smell like old money for real. But it's also pretty expensive. So at least get your nose on this and thank me later. Roja Parfums, Enigma Parfum. Next up we have Fragrance du Bois, Bleu Intense. And this is my favorite from the house. This came out in 2013, so one of their very first fragrances. This is already a classic, but not enough people speak about this. maybe because of the price, I don't know, because it's one of their more expensive fragrances. But this is a perfectly well, classy blended fragrance. And the name says Oud Bleu Intense. So you think, oh, this is heavy on the oud. But actually, it's a very smooth oud, hardly detectable. You detect it, but it's super smooth. This is a perfect beginner's oud fragrance, I would say. Although the price isn't for a beginner, of course, I would still not recommend to blind buy this because it's expensive. But this smells super sophisticated, super sexy. And if you look up the notes, you will think this is a heavy fall winter fragrance, but it's actually super versatile. You can wear this in any occasion, 365 days a year, even in the high heat, because this blend, it's very unique, I would say. It has mandarin orange, so that is the only citrusy, fresh aspect throughout the fragrance, and the rest of the notes are pretty heavy, sort of. So it has myrrh, olibanum, it has amber, labdanum, it has cardamom, nutmeg. It's very spicy, it's very ambery, warm, spicy. It has very balsamic as well. It has oud, of course, but the oud is super smooth. And it has stearax and benzoin, which is super sexy. And all of the notes, it's sort of pretty complex, but it doesn't smell too complex. So it has a lot of notes, but for some weird reason, it doesn't smell too hard to the nose. So it's very mass appealing, but it smells very sophisticated at the same time. And because it's so versatile, it's super mass appealing, it's very sexy, and you will smell like old money for real. This smells very, very classy. You can wear this in literally any situation, on a date night, to the office, clubbing, whatever you want to do. It's an extrait de parfum, beast mode performance. It performs really well. And every time I wore this, people are complimenting me because people don't smell these kinds of fragrances. And it smells very unique, but at the same time, it has that mass appealing vibe because it's also pretty sweet. Like the whole fragrance has the sweet amberiness, the sweet citrusy vibe, the balsamic touches, which also comes off sweet. And benzoin is always very sexy in my opinion. So I would say at least sample this, get your nose on this. It's still pretty expensive. I do not recommend to blind buy this, but you need to check this out if you want to smell like old money. Oud Bleu Intense. Next up we have Valentino Uomo Intense, and this is also one of the best designer fragrances ever made in my opinion. If you love the vibe of Dior Homme Parfum, Dior Homme Intense, you will probably love this as well, because this is also an iris fragrance. It's very heavy on the iris, it's very powdery, but this is also pretty sweet because the vanilla and the tonka bean really shine in this fragrance as well. So the vanilla tonka bean combination comes off sweet. It has a little bit of spiciness to it, combined with mandarin orange. It has like a little bit of zestiness to it, but the iris really shines. It's very powdery with a nice hint of clary sage. And the leather in this, a super smooth leather as well. Even if you're not into leather fragrances, this leather is masterfully well blended. And it is sort of very mass appealing at the same time. But I wouldn't recommend blind buying this because it's also very like sophisticated, and not everybody loves powdery fragrances. Powdery fragrances are not for everyone in my opinion, but this will make you smell like a gentleman. This is super sexy. I would say this is an older batch. The new reformulated 2021 version is almost the same. It's also a masterpiece. You can go wrong with that or this. It's almost the same. And the new one, they all perform very well. 8 to 10 hours on my skin. Not beast mode, but good performance. And I would say this is maybe slightly more mass appealing than Dior Homme Parfum. It's more in the category maybe Dior Homme Intense, sort of. All masterpieces. You have to get your nose on these at least. I would say I would still recommend sample it, go to the store, test it on your own skin. It's not for everyone, but this smells like old money and you need to check it out. And it's still pretty inexpensive in my opinion. So check this one out. Valentino Uomo Intense. Next up we have Spirit of Kings Zaurac. And this is very much similar to Tom Ford's Oud Wood, but in my opinion this smells a lot better and it performs a lot better as well. This is made by master perfumer Christian Provenzano, and everything he touches turns into beast mode fragrances actually. This projects very well, a nice silage scent bubble, 12 plus hours on my skin, beautiful performance. It's also very good on the price in my opinion. The retail is about 160 euros for 100 ml, but you can get it at discounters for probably a little bit cheaper even. So amazing price, beast mode performance. Yeah, I would say if you love Oud Wood, this is a safe blind buy. But if you haven't smelled Oud Wood or any of these kinds of fragrances, I wouldn't recommend blind buying this because it's still very easy to the nose, very mass appealing, but it's still an oud fragrance. So it is, in my opinion, a smooth oud. It's very easy to the nose oud, a beginner's oud fragrance, because it has oud combined with sandalwood, which is creamy, with a little bit of vetiver. It also is very warm, spicy. It has cardamom and Szechuan pepper. Yeah, it's a very sexy blend. It smells like old money. You will smell like a rich person, for real. Like you will smell very oriental. It has some Middle Eastern vibes to it. It also has like amber and vanilla and tonka bean. So it is sweet and it's warm, spicy. It's a beautifully well blended fragrance. I would say at least sample this, get your nose on this. This is perfect for fall and winter, early spring even. I would say you can wear this in professional settings, on date nights. You can wear this out clubbing. It projects. Maybe don't spray too much in professional settings or on a date night. Maybe you don't want it to be overwhelming, but it's super sexy, super mass appealing. There's a fly here. Go away. That's okay. But yeah, at least sample this and get your nose on this. And if you love Oud Wood, just get this one. This is better in my opinion. Spirit of Kings, Zaurac. Next up we have the Spirit of Dubai, Turath. Turath means heritage, and this is actually the most complex fragrance that I have in my collection. This has over 50 fragrance notes, so it's impossible to isolate all the notes because a lot of notes are there to support other notes, but I would describe it as easy as possible. This is a very Middle Eastern, fruity, sweet, warm, spicy, oody, smoky fragrance. It has a lot of fruity notes. It has dried fruits. It has strawberry, pineapple, peach, apple. It even has coconut, like a slight hint of coconut. It is very spicy with cinnamon and nutmeg and saffron. It has a lot of spiciness to it. It's also very smoky. It has incense. The oud in here is slightly animalic because it also has civet. So I would say in the first 30 minutes, it's a bit animalic, but that fades away and it becomes more sweet and warm, spicy and fruity. It is a beautifully well blended fragrance, but it's definitely not a safe blind buy. But this will make you smell like Arabian royalty, like an Arabian prince. This smells really sexy, very sophisticated at the same time. It's super oriental. It smells very Middle Eastern, and it's a beautifully well blended fragrance. And every time I wear this fragrance, I get different nuances of the fragrance. So it depends on the weather. I mostly wear this in fall and winter. You can wear this in early spring as well. And yeah, it depends on the weather. So if it's like hot or cold or windy or humid, every time I wear this, I get different like nuances of the notes. And every time I'm like, oh, I didn't detect this note, but now I do. So it's very hard to isolate all the notes because it has over more than 50 fragrance notes. It's super complex, but this is a beast. Like I was walking the dog, I think last winter, I don't know when, and it was pretty windy and I was wearing this and my friend was walking like 20 meters behind me with his dog and I was walking the dog as well. And he called me and he said, hey bro, I can smell you from over here. So it was also very windy, of course, but this has like a scent trail This is so strong. So don't spray too much of this. And what I would recommend is, of course, sample it first. It's not a safe blind buy, but you will smell very sophisticated. You will smell like a millionaire for sure, because this blend is just super alluring, super mysterious at the same time. And it just works. In my opinion, this smells like top notch, high class, but again, not for a beginner's nose, not a safe blind buy. It's also pretty expensive. So at least get your nose on this. But I would say this is perfect for fall, winter. You can wear this on a date night actually, but just don't spray too much and wait at least an hour before going to your date, because the first 30 minutes are pretty animalic. So spray this on at least an hour prior for your date, because then it turns into the more sweet, fruity, mysterious, smoky fragrance. But I would say it's a masterpiece. Try to sample this and thank me later. The spirit of Dubai, Turath. Thanks again for watching. It will be really helpful if you like the video, leave a comment and subscribe to my channel, of course. Let me know what you think of these fragrances. All of them, I wouldn't recommend blind buying them, but at least sample them, get your nose on these and come back to the video if you have sampled them. Give me some feedback and let me know what you think of the fragrances. Let me know your scent of the day as well. I'm wearing Wave Child by Room 1015. I will review that soon. I will respray it, by the way. This is Summer in a Bottle. Super refreshing, super fruity, watermelon coconut, very sexy. I love it. So super mass appealing actually. I would say this is a safe blind buy if you like those fresh kind of fragrances. The other ones in this list, I wouldn't recommend blind buying them. Sample them first and get your nose on these. I will reply on every comment. In the meantime, check me out on YouTube every day. I post 2 shorts a day. I post my scent of the day in the community section. I will be very active on Instagram every day as well. 2 reels every day, 2 TikToks every day. So check me out on every platform. And next week, I will be back with another full video every Saturday. You may overspray. Namaste. Thanks for watching.